Let's talk makeup brushes. This is not as much of a do's or don'ts as much as it is a different brush, different results. So let's go. Foundation. If you want a full coverage, you go with a very dense brush. Denser the brush, the denser the coverage. Have a look. I'm just putting it right over. So if you want a quick full coverage, you take a dense brush and you pat it on. I like a bigger brush. You know why? I'm kind of lazy and it covers ground real quick. You see that? Other options. More of a buffing brush will give you kind of an airbrushed buff, and a little bit of a medium density will give you medium coverage. I typically go for a medium coverage, so I'll show you. Same amount, and it didn't go on quite as heavy, but it did the trick for me. I opt for a medium coverage. Not a huge fan of the painty sort of brushes. I feel like they're kind of streaky and I prefer something to buff. Now, damp sponge. If you like a very natural application, the damp sponge will do that for you. Dampen it, squeeze out the excess. If you put too much foundation on and it's cakey, the damp sponge can also help make it look like skin again. So damp sponge is a good friend to have around. I prefer her damp, and it just takes it down a little bit. Okay. Bronzer brush. Somebody back in the day said you got to get a big old brush and go bronzer wild. Well, guess what? That is just a whole lot of bronze. But I prefer to use a brush that is softer for bronzer and that can get into the curves of my face and allow me to build up the right amount of product a little at a time for more of an airbrushed look. So if you want a little more of a detailed contoured bronze, you're going to go with a smaller brush. I prefer a fan, or you can do, or a bronzer brush that tapers so you can use just the tip and go into the curves of your face with a little more control than a very round brush. I love those big brushes, but I save that more for powder than a bronze application. Blush. For blush, I like something a little smaller so I have a little bit more control. It's like with a tapered edge so I can get to the high points and really get in wherever I want so it's not just overwhelming, especially if you have a petite face. A big brush will do just too much. So now, or I like something with an angle so I can control where I'm putting it as well. Okay. For concealer, sometimes I even opt for a fluffy shadow brush so I get a softer, fluffy application. Or if I want nice coverage, I do a little bit of a denser, fuller brush so I quickly can apply and blend. I blend by pushing so I don't disrupt texture, and I smooth lines and I don't like a streaky situation. So this is the sort of brush I like for concealer for myself and my clients. We'll do shadow brushes next.